I mean, when
Go ahead.
the sand has to be done immediately because it's really a despicable condition.
That's correct, and our Parks Director would be looking at all of the
Give it the
scope.
highest priority, I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No.
Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda? Has been made, seconded. Anyone wishes to record or no? Hearing none. Tab H, Mr. City Clerk.
Now, Mayor, apparently tab H, I, and K were moved into the quasi-judicial category of our, I guess, agenda. So I would ask if anyone plans to comment on tab H, I, or J, please stand up and raise your right hand. It is a judicial quasi matter. HIK. It's a judicial quasi matter. So before you can speak on items H, I, K, it's imperative that you are sworn in.
No one's speaking.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Tab
Okay.
H. An ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, adopting a small-scale land use amendment to City of North Miami, to the City of North Miami Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Map for the property generally located on the northwest quadrant of Northeast 135th Street and 6th Avenue, consisting of 5 adjacent lots totaling approximately 1.1 acres in size, from a medium-density residential land use designation to a high-density residential land use designation, and to expand the neighborhood redevelopment overlay (NRO) district boundary. The pick on the future land use map to include the subject property in order to allow for the proposed redevelopment of the vacant site, consistent with the intent of the city comprehensive plan, further authorizing the city manager to do all things necessary to effectuate the subject land use amendment as required by Florida law, providing for conflicts, severability, and an effective date.
This is the first reading of tab H. Public hearing is open on tab H. Everyone wish to comment on tab H? Anyone wish to comment on tab A? Tab H? Hearing none, public hearing is now closed on tab H. Councilman Glenn.
I would like to hear the city's report on it.
The city's report is attached on tab H.
Well, who is here representing Coniga? The developer. Is the developer here?
Yes, Mr. John De La Gloria is the attorney.
Hello. What I'm worried about is this is a very busy intersection. And you're going...
Give me 1 second. He's the lawyer. I don't think the lawyer needs to be sworn in. Even the lawyer needs to be sworn in representing the developer?
No, he doesn't.
I don't think so.
No.
Right, okay.
No.
John, would you appear at the microphone? I think Councilman has some questions for you.
Before he asks,
Yes,
good
John.
evening to the Mayor and Council, the Honorable City Manager, City Attorney, and City Clerk.
John, it's a very busy intersection.
It is.
You're going to go from medium density to high density. That means a lot of cars. How many units are going to be built?
The potential number of units that can be built is approximately 190. It is
190?
unlikely. It is unlikely that, what's that? You should be sworn in? Okay, the city attorney has now overruled everyone in the room, and so you want to swear me in?
That's why we pay her a lot of
Okay.
Please stand and raise your right hand. Oh, my
I'm standing, I'm
All
sure.
right. Reading from the script. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, please say I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. How many units approximately?
Again, it's approximately, well, yeah, I said approximately. Okay, it's approximately 191. We don't think that the site is going to be developed to that magnitude. The issue as far as what will completely be built there, it's kind of like the chicken and the egg, because first we have to get to know what the city will allow us to build, and then the site will be planned. The site is most likely going to be developed by the Carrefour Housing Group. I hope you have the package. Not yet? Okay. Carrefour appeared at the planning board, and because of some scheduling conflicts they had, including an important birthday in one of their lives, they could not be here this evening. Carrefour has developed other projects throughout the county that are truly remarkable projects.
Yeah. Well, if
Regarding-
it's going to be 191 units, it's probably somewhere between 200 to 300 to 400 cars.
Well, no, because it's actually just the opposite. The project is going to be for veterans, the elderly. There will be some workforce, but as a matter of fact, it would probably be the case that the normal cars per unit requirement it's probably going to be much less than that,
Well,
actually.
veterans drive just like everyone else, and so do
No,
the
they don't
elderly.
drive that well, but they do drive like everyone.
I don't see where that makes a difference, unless they're really elderly, in their 80s and 90s,
Mhm.
which I doubt. Anyway, there's going to be several hundred cars, and they're going to be entering a very busy intersection. This could cause some problems.
Well,
I mean, they're going to be entering 135th Street, or going to enter...
again, that's going to be...
Sixth
that's gonna-
Avenue.
That's going to be determined about how the site is going to be laid out.
Well, that's what I'm worried about.
Well, please recognize that no
a
matter
major
what
concern.
gets built there, Councilman Blinn, no matter what gets built there, it's still going to be a busy intersection. And the people who are developing this, my client in conjunction with Carrefour, we're not going to put things that we could put there, okay? And let me just say
What does
this.
that mean?
Okay, this is what it means. This is exactly what it means. Okay, this is a major, can't think of the word, entranceway to the city. Northeast 6th Avenue has been a street in this city, along with Northwest 7th and a few others, that for decades have needed something to go in there of really a very significant architectural statement to help change that street. And 10 years ago, it's going on 11 years ago, when the city first approved a Biscayne Landing development, you'll recall that we anticipated the creation of a community redevelopment agency. In fact, had certain amenities not been built, such as the library and the Olympic training facility, which were contemplated, $20 million was going to go into the CRA. That's how I sneakily wrote that provision to make sure that money would go to the west side of town.
That's water over the dam.
No, it's not, Councilman. This is an important project for the city. It's an important project for that street. And hopefully, it will be a project that will get other developers along Northeast 6th to start building what should be built and providing the decent housing that people in that community need. So yeah, it's a busy intersection. We could put a gas station there. I don't think you want us to do that. One of the reasons why we picked that, not picked it, but one of the reasons why staff has said that it's not going to be too much of a burden on traffic is because of the major bus lines that run through there. Part of what we're going to do, in addition to just building the housing, is we're going to have some small-scale retail development there that is also needed in the community. We're hoping to put in like a little convenience store. We're hoping to put in perhaps a little drugstore where people in the community don't have to go blocks away when they don't have any transportation. So we think that the staff, which has approved it, the planning board, which has approved it, is basically approving a project that is more than just a simple project that's being built here in the city. It is a project that we hope will be the catalyst for the development of a neighborhood.
Well, it doesn't solve my problem. My concern is that people speed down 135th Street. and they go fast on 6th Avenue, and now you can have several hundred cars without a traffic light
There-
coming into this intersection?
There's a traffic light on Northeast 6th and Northeast
They're going to
135th
go,
Street right
yeah,
there.
but this is much bigger than the traffic light. Where, you don't know where the entrances are. or
The
where
entrance is
exits are.
obviously either going to be on Northeast 6th or Northeast 135th Street.
Obviously.
Yes. So then we know.
And
There's no
have you seen a
street.
traffic study?
Uh,
Are you going to do a traffic study?
Yeah, yeah.
Again, what is being approved tonight is, hopefully, what's being approved tonight is a rezoning and conditional use permit that will allow us the ability to go forward, develop a site, and all of these concerns regarding traffic and setbacks and landscaping and everything else is going to be contained in site plans that have to come before the city for your approval.
Setbacks, I'm not worried about. I'm worried about the people who drive fast. There's 2, 3, 4, 500 cars. Maybe with the development of a commercial property could be going into the highway. I'm worried about that. I'd like to see a study before we approve anything.
Okay, well,
I mean, I'm just saying,
Councilman Blinn.
it's a very high speeding area.
Councilman Blinn, I've known you for a long time. I know your views on certain
Yeah, I'm
matters.
just worried about the people who live there.
I know your views about
They have
certain
accidents
matters.
galore there already.
And if you don't see your way clear to voting for a project on Northeast 6th and 135th
I didn't
Street
say that.
that will hopefully
I'm just
transform a
concerned.
community,
I am concerned, that's all I'm telling you.
right, that block is not going to change. It is a heavily trafficked intersection. It's not going to change no matter what gets put there. But what we're trying to do is change a neighborhood, which hopefully will be accomplished, and we've been trying to do that for about a decade. Hopefully, this will be the first project that gets to do that.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, again, I mean, it looks like just about 2 hours ago at the CRA meeting, we were discussing, again, Northeast 6th Avenue, West Dixie, Northwest 7th Avenue. I was on the CRA advisory board for a brief period of time.
Yes.
And I know that we want to do something in that area. That piece of property has been vacant, probably since I was born.
I think it goes
You
back to
were
the
not
last
born
ice
yet,
age,
remember?
but yes.
Okay.
I was in, by the way, I graduated high school the year you were born,
Oh,
because I was listening before.
Oh.
Okay? It's been empty since at least then.
right. And to me, for a project like this that is being proposed, it's a little bit different than what we have on Northeast 6th Avenue. I mean, it looks like, this is what we've been asking for, just go really tall and, really nice, complex in that area. So I think it's going to change the face, of Northeast 6th Avenue.
I hope so.
Which we've been, asking for. So I think he has all the elements to make it a great
Thank you.
project on Northeast 6th Avenue.
Thank you.
Councilman Marcellus?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Mr. John De La Gloria, how
Yes,
many
sir.
units you going to have there?
Well, again,
191.
Again,
191.
right now, the maximum that could be placed there is 191. We are asking for the maximum, as anybody would, as any developer would who wants to maximize the use of the property, just as Carrefour does. You have waiting lists, by the way, of well over 240 people who are looking for just this type of housing. And so, based on, in my estimation, based on the ultimate site plan approved, I don't think you're going to hit the number of 191 at all. And I don't think Carrefour believes that either.
Oh, how many floors that you're going to have on it?
And that's also going to be the subject of a site plan review, because there might be, first of all, the site will probably be developed in stages. We're not going to have like one, 28-story building with 191 units in it. We're probably going to have either 2 or 3 buildings on the site. Most likely, none of them will be more than 8 stories because of the cost involved in when you start going up. So we'll probably have, as I say, my guess is going to be it's probably around 175 units going to be built in either 2 or 3 buildings.
One question Councilman Bland asks is about the traffic. But where is the entrance? But you say you don't know yet. And it's probably, you say it's probably in 6th Avenue or 135th Street?
Well, the
There's
property,
no streets.
what's that?
No, I said there is no other streets.
What
That-
about
that-
136th Street?
Well, that-
136th
no, I was going to
Street
say
is
that.
probably the best way
Yes,
to get the
yes,
entrance.
it's quite possible. It's quite possible that we're going to utilize 136th Street behind there, behind 135th. Again, the architect has considered that street, and if it turns out that that's the most favorable location to get traffic in and out, then 136th Street will also be a possibility, yes.
Please, if anything, I think 136 will be the best street to consider, not 6th Avenue. And what about the setback on the east side of that property? Let me say that, on the west side of 6th Avenue.
Okay. You're talking about the property that would border the single-family homes?
That's the west side of that property. The east side.
The
of-
east side, you're talking about on the,
by 6th Avenue.
right on the street? Well, obviously, anything we do on the site, any of the 4 corners of the property are going to have to be heavily landscaped, and we recognize that the whole site has to be developed in a way that's going to be architecturally pleasing and pursuant to the city's design codes.
And probably my last question.
Yeah.
What about the parking situations? Since you say we're going to have
A parking deck will probably be built on the site.
we'll have sufficient parking for the units.
Oh, absolutely, we have to. We're not here tonight, by the way, we're not here tonight asking for a variance on anything. What we're asking for are bonuses permitted by the code. It's not like we can build 5 units, but by the way, we're asking for 191. Everything that we're asking for is allowed under the code should we achieve all the bonuses we're allowed. So that's why we're asking for this. If we don't get the bonuses, then it becomes smaller. But there will be a parking structure on site.
Really, this is my last question.
No, you go right ahead.
And when you say decent housing and affordable housing, what you have in mind? What price
There-
range we're talking about? Things like that.
These are going to be rental units. So we're not talking about like building condos that are going for like $200,000. The average prices will depend on the unit size. Carrefour builds not only 1 bedrooms, they build probably more than half of the building is going to be 2 and 3 bedroom units. So some of these 3 bedroom units are up to about 1,600 square feet. So it's going to depend on the size of the unit. I believe the most expensive unit that Carrefour has is about $1,600 a month in some of their other projects. Those will probably be obviously used by people who are workforce housing as opposed to the veterans and the seniors.
In other words, it's fair if we say that's probably affordable housing.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, and let me mention that you have a great partner. Carrefour is also one of our partners.
Yes.
We receive, I think, about $80-something million on NSP 2. So, and we have seen, well, I've seen some of the projects that they have done in Miami-Dade County. So, you could not have picked a better partner than Carrefour.
And I'm sorry that the representatives from Carrefour could not be here tonight because they usually put on like a little, 10-minute video of the projects they've built. Honestly, we saw one of their projects on 54th Street where they have a 3-bedroom with wraparound balconies. You want to live there. It looks anything but like affordable housing.
Right.
That the kind of thing you'd envision. I mean, really, they're a remarkable group of people.
Thank you. Okay, Councilman Gavin.
No questions. Everything I've heard so far is encouraging. Obviously,
you.
when future meetings come along,
Sure.
I'll be looking at, amenities and
Yeah, people like
those
her,
things.
people like her are going to make sure that we do what we're supposed to.
Yeah, but the site is long overdue for development. It's unrealistic to think it'll just sit vacant forever and ever. And I'm looking forward to us working to put together a quality project for the area that'll, like you said, be an entrance statement to the area.
Absolutely, and I did mean, by the way, just to thank both Maxine and Tanya and her whole staff. We have been dealing with the city staff for about a year on various ways to develop this site, and your staff has been tremendously helpful.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Hey, I'm still here.
I'm sorry.
I'm not that short.
Ooh.
At the moment, you're the
I'm just a
tallest
woman,
person
but
in the
not
room.
that short. But anyways, really, I was in contact with Carrefour a couple of years ago. I was trying to lobby them to come to my district on 135th Street as well, where Joseph Ellison Center is right now.
Right.
I saw the work that they have done. I think they have a complex on, I think somewhere in downtown.
They have several.
It's beautiful.
It's amazing.
So I hope that they bring their structures, the same thing that I have been seeing them doing
Oh, yeah.
in other cities to our city. of
Yeah,
Los
and by
Angeles.
the way, the representative of Carrefour, Paula Roman, lives in the city of North Miami, and she used to intern here at the city. So she has a very vested interest in making sure that the best thing possible can go up there.
And she lives
So,
in the city still.
Yeah.
Yes, she still
Yeah,
lives in the
yeah.
city,
I
yes.
met with her.
Oh, yeah. No,
That's
they're
beautiful.
they're great
Beautiful
people.
Project.
They're great people.
Congratulations.
Thank you. No, thank you. for-
Okay, can I get a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion seconded. Mr. City Clerk, roll call.
Councilman Galvin,
Yes.
Mayor Pierre,
Yes.
Councilman Marcellus,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Steril, and Councilman Blinn.
Yes.
Measure passes 5-0.
Okay, tab
What happened to G?
tab I. We're gonna get to J.
I'm not sure.
We have to think.
An ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, amending chapter 29 of the city of North Miami Code of Ordinances entitled Land Development Regulations by amending the city of North Miami official zoning map referenced in Article 1, Section 1-106 to reflect the rezoning of an area consisting of 8 contiguous lots located on the northwest quadrant of Northeast 135th Street and Northeast 6th Avenue, totaling approximately 2.1 acres in size, and generally identified as lots 1, 2, 3, 11, and 12, currently zoned R5, and lots 13, 14, and 15, currently zoned R4 of Block 1 Smallwood Manor subdivision from the current R4 and R5 multifamily residential zoning designation to in R6 multifamily residential zoning designation, and to further expand the neighborhood redevelopment overlay (NRO) district boundary depicted on the official zoning map to include the subject lots 1, 2, 3, 11, and 12 in order to allow for the future redevelopment of the vacant lot consistent with the intent of the City of North Miami Comprehensive Plan, providing for conflicts, severability, and an effective date.
This is
That's tab I.
probably the same issue going on. Public hearing is open on tab I. Public hearing is not closed on tab I. Councilman Blinn,
Motion to approve.
motion to approve
Second.
has been seconded. Mr. City Clerk, roll call.
Vice Mayor Steril,
Yes.
Councilman Galvin,
Yes.
Mayor Pierre,
Yes.
Councilman Marcellus,
Yes.
and Councilman Blinn.
Yes.
Measure passes 5-0. Now the next quasi judicial matter was tab K, if I'm not mistaken.
Tab K.
Okay. A resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, authorizing approval of the conditional use permit in substantially the attached form, transferring 138 bonus units from the neighborhood redevelopment overlay (NRO) district primary residential pool of 2,200 floated residential units, and further approving a bonus height of 35 feet for a proposed development generally located on the northwest corner of the intersection of Northeast 135th Street and Northeast 6th Avenue, situated within the NRO district in accordance with Article 4, Section 4-405 of the City of North Miami Code of Ordinances, Land Development Regulations, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Can I get a motion?
Move to approve.
Move to
Okay, has
Second.
been moved, has been seconded. Public hearing is open on tab K.
Actually, what we'd like you to do is to say up to 138, because we may not actually use all of them, but I thought it would be better for the city, rather than give us absolute ability to do the 138, you can just say up to 138.
Change the language.
Whenever you do things like that, I wonder, like,
No, it's not, nothing up my sleeve. If you want to leave it just the way it is, that's fine.
no,
So you are up to 138 or 138? What?
No, the bonus, if we
Uh-huh.
achieve all the bonus standards, we get an extra 138.
Right.
What I'm saying is up to, instead of like giving us 138 per se, just make it up to 138.
up to.
So that way, you know, nobody can run in and say, no, 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 you said 138 and we're allowed to go higher than we're allowed to go or whatever. That's all. It was a small little point that
Appreciate
I
that.
didn't have to bring up. It helps you, so there you go.
Maxine?
Thank you. So up to 138.
Where would you like me to include that language, Mayor? Is it after transferring? So under where it
Transferring-
says transferring up
Up
to
to
100?
138
Okay.
bonus
That's all.
units.
That's all.
Up to. Okay.
That's all.
All right, and can the motions, Council Vice Mayor Steriel and Marcellus made, is it with the amendments?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Quick. Just a quick question, Mr. Mayor.
Sure.
Maybe a quick explanation from staff as to where these units will come from. Like, what is this in layman's terms that we're doing right now?
Maxine Calloway, Community Planning and Development Director. If you recall, Councilman Galvin, in 2007, when we amended the city comprehensive plan, we had a density pool, 5,000 units that were not built in the city, that we pooled together with putting approximately 2,200 of those units into the neighborhood redevelopment overlay district, which is where this project is being built. And the pool is designed to allow developers to focus their redevelopment within the NRO. So this is the first application since 2007 that we're processing. So the applicant is asking to draw 138 bonus units, or up to 138 units, from the pool of 2,200 units that is designated for the NRO district. We have another 1,200 that's designated for the CCD district, and another 1,000 that is designated outside of the NRO, which totals 5,000.
And why would they qualify for this? What do they have to do to get them? Do they have to have
If the
leave?
property is located within the neighborhood redevelopment overlay district, which by virtue of the two applications that you just approved, the property is now within the NRO, then the applicant can build up to 90 dwelling units per acre. In order to achieve that, though, you would have to pull from your density pool
Okay, so just simply by being in the overlay district, they qualify to ask.
to ask through a conditional use permit.
And this is the first time since
This is the
2007 that someone actually come forward and ask.
That is correct, Mayor.
Okay, and people, if they don't ask, we don't just give it to them. They got to come in and ask.
It has to be through a conditional use permit process.
But the purpose of the bonus is to encourage developer to come.
Redevelopment
which we
within the NRO
badly
area.
advertise,
Which-
or never advertise for it. But just want to put it out there. So, welcome.
Okay. So I guess you have some additional work to do in your office to advertise that the city is giving free
Bonus.
bonuses. We got,
Bonus.
so up to that, we still got another 2,000 left, you know, within that,
Which is a lot.
which is a lot of units. Okay. But the problem is it's only for new development,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
It's only for new development.
Yes, for the most part, because you
Okay.
have to achieve certain criteria, such as the property has to be built green, there has to be transit-oriented improvements, and there has to be some
And
component of
affordable.
affordable housing for you to be able to draw those units.
Okay.
I remember those late
So
night-
tab K is a resolution. A motion was made, right?
Correct, Mayor.
Anyone wishes to record a no? Hearing none. Tab K has passed. Tab J?
J,
Just 1 second, I just wanted to thank you, and we're very proud
welcome.
to be the first one to come in under this program.
Thank you. Thank you. John?
Your Honor, you don't want, Your Honor, I'm sorry, Mayor, do you want to start at tab E or tab J?
Mr. Smith.
Oh, tab E. Sorry,
Okay.
tab E.
That's fine.
E.
In orders of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, amending Chapter 15 of the Code of Ordinances entitled Pensions and Retirement by amending Article 4 entitled North Miami Police Pension Plan, Division 5 entitled Benefits, specifically at Section 15-132 entitled Death Benefits, to provide beneficiaries receiving a service-connected death benefit with an annual COLA, providing for conflict, severability, codification, and an effective date.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, this is second reading of tab E. Anyone wishes to be heard on tab E? Hearing none. Any comments from council members? Hearing none. Mr. City Clerk?
Councilman Galvin,
Yes.
Mayor Pierre,
Yes.
Councilman Marcellus,
Yes.
Councilman Bland,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Steril.
Yes.
Measure passes 5-0.
Okay, tab F.
An ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, amending Chapter 6 of the City Code of Ordinances entitled Elections by amending Article 4 entitled Election Administration, specifically at Section 6-76 entitled Dates of Elections, to change the dates for runoff elections in accordance with the city charter and state law, providing for repeal, conflicts, severability, codification, and an effective date.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, this is second reading. Anyone wishes to be heard on tab F? Hearing none. Item pass.
Item pass.
Mr. City Clerk, roll call?
Mayor Pierre,
Yes.
Councilman Marcellus,
Yes.
Councilman Bland,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Steril,
Yes.
Councilman Galvin.
Yes.
Measure pass. Mr. City Clerk, when you get a chance, the memo that you have online about the runoff date is wrong.
We're going to take care of that immediately.
Okay.
That's good.
Tab G.
In, up there. That's tab G. I got it in the folder. I'm sorry, Mayor, 1 second. You want me to read from this instead? Okay. In orders of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, establishing an additional homestead exemption for certain low-income qualifying senior citizens who are long-term residents pursuant to Article 7, Section 6D, Florida Constitution, and Section 196.075, Florida statutes, to be applied to taxes levied by the city in accordance with Section 29-8, Miami-Dade County Code of Ordinances, as amended from time to time, and further providing that a copy of this ordinance be filed with Miami-Dade County Property Appraiser, providing for the annual submission of a sworn statement to the property appraiser, allowing supporting documentation, providing for a waiver of exemption, providing for commencement of exemption, providing for repeal, conflicts, severability, codification, and an effective date.
Move it.
Second.
Okay. Has been moved, seconded. Public hearing is open on tab G. Public hearing is now closed on tab G. Any comments from any members of the City Council?
I have two questions, Mr. Mayor,
Sure.
if you allow me. We have to do this every year? Didn't we do that already? I think
No.
last year.
No. I don't.
We've done it recently for the first homestead for seniors, but because of the November election, this is the second time we're allowed to do it. So they're actually getting a second deduction that's new, approved in November.
It was on the November ballot.
Right.
This particular homestead exemption.
So it will not be effective with this homestead. It will be like what, for next year, since they already received their.
Right. Their deadline would be March 31st, and then the county will appropriately apply the exemption.
Mine or the
for-
questions. When do you says long time residents? What does that
25 years.
Not you.
Man, I missed the deadline.
And you have to be a senior citizen, so you're not a senior
Well,
citizen.
It's
I'm
for
not too far
seniors.
away.
Okay. No one wishes to be heard. Public hearing is now closed on tab G. Mr. City Clerk.
Councilman Marcellus,
Yes.
Councilman Bland,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Steril,
Yes.
Councilman Galvin,
Yes.
Mayor Pierre.
Yes.
Okay, measure passes 5-0.
Tab J.
An ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, amending chapter 12 of the city code of ordinances entitled nuisance, specifically at article 4 entitled noises and section 12-53 entitled specific prohibitions to require compliance with the code with the noise ordinance for any city sponsored or city sanctioned activity, providing for repeal conflicts, severability, codification, and an effective date. Tab J.
Tab J. Public hearing is open on tab J.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Ruth Torres, 14951 Royal Oaks Lane, North Miami, Florida, 33181. I'm a resident at Biscayne Landings. I came last year and complained about the concerts being held at the North Miami Athletic Stadium, which is in front of Alonzo and Tracy Morning Senior High. I was very upset because of how loud the music was and how late on a Sunday night, and it interfered with reasonable usage of the homes of all the residences there and the children getting to sleep on time. They do have to get up for school on Monday. I did have a petition going. I had 142 signatures in 4 hours of people also very upset about the noise from there. And I came here and I raised my concerns, and I was told, okay, we'll keep that in mind for next year. And now this year, last year was until 10:30, so this year they're now permitted till 11 o'clock, so they get more concerts even later. And there's still no requirement on the sound level. So what I did, I wanted to share with you, is that I wanted to find out if I was, I wanted to find out if I was being unreasonable, if I had an expectation that wasn't reasonable with other residences in the area. So I literally emailed several local other cities as if I wanted to, as if I was looking for space to have concerts until 11 o'clock. So I emailed City of Miami Beach, Sunny Isles, Aventura, City of Miami, and North Miami Beach, as well as Miami-Dade County. And I emailed them, and I have their responses here in writing. And for the county, I have here, they're in writing here, they say they have no amplified music allowed on the property because of adjunct residential areas to the north of our property. So they do not allow any at all amplified music. And that one is the county, Miami-Dade County. But I do have, I'm going to come back to them. I should have did them last. I'm sorry. City of Aventura, they have amplified music is not permitted due to the city noise ordinance. So no amplified music at all for the City of Aventura. The City of Miami Beach, which I personally consider the party capital of Dade County, Florida, the country, they have a noise ordinance in effect 24 hours a day. In essence, it mandates that levels be at a volume that cannot require speaking loudly to have a conversation 100 feet from the source from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. and cannot be at any discernible level from 100 feet from source from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Okay, that is City of Miami Beach. From the City of Miami, they will only allow it at Bayside Park. Until 11 p.m. They will allow amplified music at Bayside Park, but not for 11 consecutive weeks. The City of Sunny Isles says that is not possible as some other due to residential considerations. City of North Miami Beach said Loud music would not be permitted, not for 11 weeks. It would be allowed at the amphitheater, but not loud music. And in quote, he said, folks will be calling the police, so we couldn't do that. But I wanted to come back to the county because I started contacting the parks, the larger parks, the 94 to 100 acre parks, to see who would allow. Haulover said no. There was a lot of places that said no, but I found one that said yes. And it's a 94.5 acre park. It's at Ives Estates. So Ives Estates will allow this type of event with amplified music. They're the only location, and like I said, I went through every place. They will allow it because it's a 94.5 acre park. And I even got a price quote, and the price quote is within the budget of what they are currently paying the city of North Miami. So I have that information for whoever hosts that event if they want to pursue that. That's the only place that I found that was allowed in South Florida. I wanted to bring that to your attention, and I have these for you if you wanted to look at the printouts yourself. All of these cities, and the county declined my business. I didn't go asking for their policy. I came as though I wanted to do business with them, and they declined my business. I'm a resident here in North Miami, and I'm respectfully requesting that you look at the industry standard and respect your residents and not have this kind of event, especially such a small venue, which is not intended for live concerts. That is that's an athletic stadium. Nobody would let me do it. So I'm asking you to take that into consideration and develop an industry, implement a policy that is in line with the local area. Thank you very much, and respectfully, I have these if you want them. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishes to be heard on this item? Okay, hearing none, public hearing is now closed. To me, this item is targeting, a specific group or a specific event, and really, I would like to see more of what actually happened in the county in terms of, how we address that kind of issue. Right now, there's no records before us in terms of what is being done by other cities. And we heard clearly from the resident, this is targeting just that one group that has, promoting this event in the city. Has been around for years. So I cannot support this ordinance at this moment unless I see some additional documents in terms of, if this is the only city that allowed this kind of event to go on. I mean, I know it happened in the city of Miami. I have been around town and I have seen it at all times. Football games, go till 11 o'clock at night. I don't hear that, we have to cut the games at 10:30 or 10 o'clock at night. So to me, I think this is targeting, and I could understand why resident would be upset that this goes on till 11 o'clock at night, but I don't see any reason why we should target this specific group. Councilman, just 1 second.
I'm the sponsor of the motion, so may I clarify? I'm the one who asked that this be on the agenda.
Right, we're gonna get there. I mean, okay. Councilman Blen.
I would like to hear from Councilman Galvin.
Okay, Councilman Marcellus.
Yeah, let me hear from Councilman Galvin first.
Okay, Vice Mayor.
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay, Councilman Garvin.
Ms. Torres, thank you for exhaustive research into all of this tonight. The things that you've brought forward are things for us to consider in the future going forward. What I've asked to be here tonight is simply that the city have to follow the rule on sound that everybody else has to follow, whether it be their private residence or their concert or anything else. Our current city sound ordinance says that noise has to be turned down at 10 p.m. for every event unless it's a city-sponsored event. I don't think that we should get special privileges as a city. I think that we should have to follow the exact same rules that everybody else has to follow. So my request this evening is simply to strike, and you'll see it on page 2 of 4, one word. Strike one word that says, and I'm summarizing, noise has to be turned down between 10 p.m. and 7 p.m. The following day on a public right-of-way or public space, striking the word "not" and simply saying "including any city-sponsored or sanctioned activity." If we're putting on a concert at the stadium, we should not be allowed to let it go late into the night simply because we're the city and we own it. We can do whatever we want. My feeling is that if a private group, like I think the one you're referencing, rents it, has to be held to a certain standard, then we as a city should be held to the same standard. I totally recognize where Ms. Torres is coming from. No, we're not allowed to let it be real public discussion. She brought up, she's done exhaustive research that we can come back and look at ways we can make our sound and noise ordinance better going forward. But tonight I'm just asking the city council to ask the city to follow the same rules that everybody else has to follow. That's all I'm asking.
Okay, you heard from Councilman Gavin.
Yeah. You know, there was a Supreme Court case a few weeks ago where someone was ticketed for loud noises on their radio, and it was quite loud. And the Supreme Court overruled it, saying it's a First Amendment right that you have a privilege to create such a disturbance. I don't know, does the city attorney know about this? Could you give us a more satisfactory explanation?
No, I don't.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if this is even within the Supreme Court.
Of course, I'm glad if there's a motion to continue it for 2 weeks.
Yeah, motion to
be
continue.
continued. But here's the reality. The city has set one standard for everybody else, and then we're removing that standard for ourselves so that we can do whatever we want. I just don't think that that's fair. I think if we're asking our paying customers to follow a certain set of rules, we should have to follow the same set of rules.
Yeah,
That's
but our
only
customers might be non-paying customers, you realize
paying, non-paying.
But-
the point I'm
okay.
saying is that why should the city be allowed to do what regular citizens aren't allowed to
because
do?
we
So let's-
consider the public welfare.
Let's change it and make it the same rule that the city has is the same rule for all the residents. Why should we take away rights because we know there is a group every single year that does an event there, and we are targeting them? I mean, that's exactly what's happening.
You're the
So-
one targeting them and bringing them up. I don't even know them by name, who they are. I know that we've just signed a contract to allow some group 11 consecutive nights of concerts out there till whatever hour they want to because it's a city-sponsored event. But the point is, that's not what I'm bringing forward tonight. You're bringing it up. If you want to make it about that, we can make it about that. I'm simply asking us to be that whatever it is, ask that city-sponsored events have to follow. It's a difference of 1 hour. Or it could be more than that. But let's have some respect for the people that live around there. Whoever's sponsoring it, whatever the event is, let's just remember that we have people with children who have to sleep, who want to have some peace and quiet, and don't want to listen to music all hours of the night. It's just common sense stuff. It's not targeting a group. It's not singling anybody out. Please don't make it like that.
if that is the case, then let's talk about that. I mean,
have you gotten complaints?
It's not because we want to have the residents go to bed early or making sure that we are protecting the residents. I mean, we know exactly why is this before this council. And I mean, if we want to have that discussion, I don't mind having any problem having that discussion.
Okay, then let's continue this for 2 weeks and let's put that on the agenda. Let's ask that we revisit whatever contract staff has signed with whatever group for 11 consecutive Sundays worth of concerts till whatever hour they want to have it till. Let's put that on the agenda. I'll move to continue my own item for 2 weeks and add that we add on the agenda. What's the name of the group that's renting the stadium? It's common sense, y'all. It's just asking people to turn the music down.
May I interject for a minute?
But
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah. What's the name of the group that's renting the stadium for the next 11 Sundays till whatever hour they want to?
Again, Jeff Geimer, Director of Parks and Recreation. Actually, the name of the group, I don't have the corporate name.
Just before you said the name of the group, hold on. Mr. Mayor.
That's the sponsor. It's the
Right.
Madam Gugus,
The Madam
Katie
Gugus
Cup.
concert that
Guys.
you've approved, let's put that on the
Come.
agenda. The mayor wants to
Come
talk about
down.
that. Let's talk
No,
about
that,
that.
in fact, I was not even referring
Okay,
to that
Mr.
group.
Mayor.
You're the one who brought it up. Don't say that you weren't trying to
where's
refer
my
to
gavel
that.
I said
when I
not
need
that-
it?
I said not that group.
No.
You guys gonna
Honestly,
stop. Listen.
I've got
Listen.
an item on the agenda that I went through the processes and the rules to put on the agenda. And if you want to make it a discussion about something else, then let's put that on the agenda and quit playing games.
Okay, Mr.
But
Mayor.
in my case,
You can put whatever you want on the
all
agenda.
right,
Scott,
I will
okay.
make a
May I?
motion to continue item J till the next agenda.
Okay.
There's no second.
Okay. May
Okay, so we'll vote on item J tonight. Is there anybody who'd like to discuss Madam Juju, Madam Gugu? What? I'm sorry.
Madam
Goose.
Goose Goose is the
Goose
sponsor
Goose.
of the entire tournament. So it's
Why
not.
would we rent to a group for 11 consecutive Sundays
Well,
and
this
give them
is-
carte blanche to play as late as they want?
Wait,
Mr. Mayor,
wait,
may I,
well,
before we
can
start
I?
discussing another group, may I have the floor for 1 second?
Can we then
Sure.
just put it on the
Yeah,
agenda for
can-
next time?
Can I have a minute? Can I have?
All right.
I think, we have to be serious about take care of the business of the city. We need to step back, relax, take a deep breath, and understanding that we are adults and we were elected to do work on behalf of our constituent. We need to stop that. I'm not going to have that tonight.
So when my constituents
Okay,
ask me to
hold
turn
on,
down the
hold on,
noise
Scott,
and I
hold on.
bring something, wait, no,
Hold on.
I'm not going to
agree.
hold on,
Listen,
Councilwoman.
listen,
I'm not going to hold on,
agree.
Councilwoman.
But what's discussing
When a
here?
constituent
Last
asks
year,
me to turn down the sound and the council won't even discuss that, why should I step back?
Okay, listen,
my
I'm not asking you
constituents
to do
are
that.
here.
I'm
My
not asking.
constituents
May I
are
finish?
here.
May I finish?
No, my constituents are here. You can only finish if you're going to answer the question.
I will if
They
you allow
don't
me
want
to.
to.
I
They
will if
don't
you
want
allow me
to. They don't want to hear noise until any hour of the night, simply because it's a city-sponsored event. This organization
May I answer?
This organization came forward and has rented our stadium for 11 consecutive Sunday nights, and because they're co-sponsoring with the city, they are thus not allowed to follow the rule. They don't have to follow the rules of sound. They can play till 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. if they want to. Now, I wasn't trying to address that group.
May I answer now?
2 a.m. Then
May I
not
answer
true.
now, since you asked me a
the
question?
point I'm making is
It's 11,
why
it's not 2
wouldn't we-
a.m..
All right.
Okay.
Well, okay, then why are we really arguing over 1 hour? If we would just make the one-word change that I suggested, every organization would have to turn it down at 10 p.m. because that's what everybody has to do. So why is this a big deal?
May I, please?
Go ahead.
Thank you. What I was saying is that we are elected to do the city work. We can argue about ordinance, resolution, but we cannot consistently all the time discussing people, discussing agencies. That doesn't make it.
This is the gentleman who brought it there.
May I,
This is
may I
what-
please?
this is the gentleman who
May
brought
I
it.
finish?
What did I-
This is the
May
gentleman
I
who
what did
brought
I
it
bring
there.
up?
You're the one
Oh
who
my
said we were
goodness.
singling out some
Guys, be
group.
That's what I
civilized.
I wasn't singling out any group.
Yes, you
Can
were,
I
and that's what I
finish?
said.
No, I
Okay,
wasn't.
Hello,
and then-
I am
and then-
still
and then-
speaking. I
and then
have
give
the
them-
floor.
and we're gonna
Blah,
all
blah,
see
blah,
you
blah,
can
blah, blah,
talk.
blah, blah,
Okay.
blah, blah, blah. I have to finish, and I will finish.
And no, you're not
Please.
over me, Madam
But,
City
Scott,
Councilwoman.
you allow me.
This is the gentleman
allow
who
me to
changed it to
finish.
try to make it address
Yeah,
a single.
yeah.
Madam City Attorney, by the way,
Okay.
you are the rules
All right.
of order person.
I have
would
Alright.
the
step
floor.
in
May
at some
I?
point.
Okay.
Somebody.
The
You got-
reality
but-
of it is, I'm asking one word to keep the noise down
Okay.
for our residents.
Okay.
One word.
Scott,
All
I
right, so
have
you
the
make.
floor. May I
But hold on.
finish?
He made
I
his
have to
motion.
finish.
Wait. You made the motion to approve tab J. Anyone wishing to second the motion? Okay. Tab J is dead. Motion
Thank you,
is dead.
Councilman Blinn.
Tab M.
I told you you'd lose anyway.
Tab L.
You're going to lose anyway,
Okay.
sir.
Tab L, a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, approving the vacation, abandonment, closure, and sale of two 15-feet wide alleyways located between Northeast 135th Street and Northeast 136th Street, lying west of Northeast 6th Avenue. Further authorizing the city manager to negotiate the sale of the subject alleyways in accordance with Chapter 29, Article 3, Division 9, City of North Miami Code of Ordinances, Land Development Regulations, and to take all necessary steps to effectuate same, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Okay. This is same property, which is the alleyway that you want to buy from the city.
Yes, there are two alleyways on the property. One which runs north-south directly bisects the property that we have to have, and we're going to be paying pursuant to all city regulations regarding that. The other alleyway runs east and west, and it may be, and we'll negotiate, but it may be we actually eventually not do it because Public Utilities has indicated that there's a gravity sewer line, and it may be not in our best interest to move that, certainly. We'll see if we can design around it. If we can design around it, then we'll buy that one too. And that's all I have to say.
Public hearing is open on tab L. Public hearing is now closed on tab L. Councilman Blinn?
Move it.
Okay, has been moved. Councilman Marcellus?
Second.
Councilman Gavin?
No questions.
Vice Mayor?
No question, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, anyone wishes to record a no? Hearing none, item pass. Tab M. Thank you so much, John, for being here.
Thank
It's been
you.
a long night for you.
No, that's okay.
The president is speaking. You know, he started about 20 minutes ago.
My wife's recording it for me, believe me.
Good.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
See you in a few. Not seeing you again.
Good night, guys.
Tab M.
Recommendation to name, I guess, Myrna Pavlak to North Miami Citizens Hall of Fame.
So
That was
moved.
sponsored by Councilman Galvin.
I guess you too young. You too young to know about Myrna. I mean, Myrna
Yeah.
is a fixture.
Yeah,
in
she's
this
been around for a
community.
long time.
Right.
I
Okay,
moved this
Motion
item.
was made as seconded.
Well, I have a question, Mayor. We had it in addition to this particular item by during the add-on. Do you want me to add the addition here, or do you want me
Yes.
to
Let's
okay.
read the addition.
The addition is and also include Desaline Victor, which is sponsored by Councilman Marcellus.
Okay, has been moved and seconded. Anyone
Mr. Mayor?
wishes? Just give me 1 second.
All right.
Just 1 second. Public
But
hearing
since
is
we're
open
opening
on
public
tab
hearing,
M.
I would like to add another addition.
Another addition?
Yes.
Okay.
It's Black History Month. In 48 hours, we're recognizing black pioneers within the city, lots of department heads and other people who've been the first
Should be a council.
black.
too.
I would like to nominate Arthur Duke Sori Sr., the first black
And I
city
second that.
councilman of the
I
city
thought
of
I
Miami,
couldn't realize he was
to
missing.
also be
Yeah.
amongst those that we honor tonight.
Absolutely the first
I
pioneer.
have a
Well,
question.
you know, we
I'm
have to be a
sorry.
little careful when we, having a councilman and we're gonna put him in enough Miami Hall of Fame. And in addition to that, we're talking about Black history, but at the same time, we have to realize what he did in this city too. So I'm not sure if we want to get into that,
He
into
did
the
well.
details. Come on, I mean,
I don't
I'm not
follow.
sure. I'm not sure if people knows exactly who this guy is and what he did in the city. But you name him. It was seconded.
Mr. Mayor, before
yes.
you go, a second first. The ordinance that we have, can one person name two people within a year, or is one per person in a year?
I actually do not have the policy in front of me, so I would be happy to revisit that to answer your question and address this
You have to
at the
revisit
next
it?
meeting, because I don't have the policy in front of me, so I can't answer your
Because the
question.
last, I think
Well,
There is no
I
policy.
think we've already
One per
established policy. Wyclef Jean and the Alvarez brothers were nominated by the mayor within a year's time. So certainly one
Okay.
council person
I
can
was
nominate.
just-
one.
Yeah, I agree with Councilman Galvin.
I don't know.
I'd love to see Duke Sori, who served as the city's first black councilman,
Absolutely.
be on the Citizens Hall
Absolutely
of Fame.
deserves it.
I would second that with the amendment for the city attorney to go and revisit it. If that what you said it's true, then move on with it. If you're okay with that.
This for this.
Public hearing is open on tab M.
All in favor?
Public hearing is still open on tab M. Public hearing is now closed on tab M. You may not know. All in favor?
Aye.
Tab N.
I didn't hear your vote, Mayor. Was that
Tab N.
Tab N, discussion regarding water rates for residents with second meters.
I had discussions with the city manager over this, Mr. Mayor. Maybe he can dissolve.
Public hearing is open on tab N.
Can I speak to you in reference to this?
Hello, Esther Blinn, 1990 Northeast 118th Road. The water rates for residents with second meters are on behalf of the Sans Souci Homeowners Association. We are very upset. Many of our residents have second meters, and we do not believe that the access fee for the limited use of most of our second meters is a cost that the citizens should absorb. We believe that the water access fee should be absorbed, if anything, by the city of North Miami. And I do believe Councilman Blinn, who's now left, asked for staff to look into doing that and budgeting it in. It is an unfair burden for people trying to conserve water, and it is necessary for the city to eliminate it, eliminate the access fee. The first water meter that we all use is, we're billed for usage. Nobody objected to that, even if, you know, we, in the name of conservation. So for the second meter, by the same token, we should be billed for our usage minus the sewer fees. So it should be less per gallon, and the rate is exorbitant, such that those with second meters end up paying sometimes twice as much of a water bill. They get two bills. I was totally shocked to examine, and that's what we did. The Sans Souci homeowners examined our bills are higher. If you have a second meter and you put a second meter in to conserve water and to use a second line so that you don't use fresh water, chlorinated, treated, whatever, and you get a bill for access fees. And if you don't use it, you still get a bill for access fees. So we feel that the access fees are unfair and an exorbitant burden on citizens who tried to do the right thing by installing a second meter.
Richard Anise, 13030 Northeast 10th Avenue. I have an appointment with Mr. Johnson on Friday to discuss my situation, but I can't help but to talk about this, because if you're going to eliminate, I think, what she's calling an access fee of a base rate on the second meter, then I'm really going to be pissed off, because I have one meter and I'm paying two base rates. Okay, so if you're going to eliminate a base rate for a second meter, you're going to give, you guys, I want to sue you for about 28 years of extra fees that I've been paying on sanitation and garbage because of being charged for 2 units instead of 1. And I've already given Mr. Johnson the preliminary information, and I have an appointment, like I said, with him on Friday to discuss this. But this is, I don't think it's probably half a dozen people in the city being billed as the way I'm being billed. Because if you got a duplex with two addresses, you're going to have 2 meters, and there's no question about 2 base charges and 2 meters. Access fees, base charge, whatever you want to call it. Well, I'm being charged double on 1 meter. Okay?
I think the conversation, Mr. Anise, is with us up here, not with Councilwoman Blinn. I mean Mrs. Blinn in the audience.
Yeah. I forgot where I was. I was a senior moment. Basically, so I'm going to revisit my situation, even though, and I don't expect to be answered because I'm going to meet with Steve on Friday. So, but I have 1 meter, 1 address, 1 garbage can, 1 recycling can, 1 sewer line going out. I have a pump and a well, so I don't need a second meter, okay, even though my pump hasn't worked for a few years. But the point being is, because I have a detached apartment built in 1942, the same as my house, that was my garage and it was probably called a maid's quarters then. And because I have it separate from my house, I'm being double dipped on the base charge for water, but I only have 1 meter, and I'm being double dipped on sanitation because because supposedly I have 2 units. I have duplex status, but I only have one unit. I have 1 electric meter. I have 1 garbage can. I barely put it out twice a week. There's 2 people living there. So if you, like I said, if you're going to eliminate a second access charge for someone that has 2 meters, you better sure change my billing because I have 1 meter. Thank you.
Steve Bass, 2240 Arch Creek Drive. I'm Vice President of the Keystone Point Homeowners Association. I'm here to speak about the recent changes in the water bill rates as to sprinkler meters. I'm in a single-family home. I'm in a residence, single-family residence, and the only reason I paid for a second meter called a sub-meter years ago is because my bill was quite high, and city staff said, do you have a pool? I said, yes. Do you have a sprinkler system? I said, yes. They said, well, that may explain why your bill is high. You're being charged a sewer treatment fee for all of the water we deliver to your household. And I said, well, that doesn't seem right, because if I put water in my pool or if I water my lawn, that water doesn't return to the city's sewer treatment plant. That's not being treated. They said, you're correct, but the city doesn't have a means of knowing what quantum of your water is not coming back unless you pay for a meter. I said, I have to pay for a second meter because the city doesn't have enough information to bill me correctly? Because basically, if you don't have a second meter, you're being overbilled when it comes to the sewer treatment fee, because they're making an assumption that not a single drop of water is being used to water your lawn, which for most people is not true. So I was told the only way to prevent the overbilling problem is to come out of my pocket hundreds of dollars, I think it was $600 or $700, to have this second meter installed. Now, when I put in the second meter, I'm still a single-family home, not a duplex. I'm not a commercial use. My water profile, usage profile, has not changed at all. I'm using the same amount of water before, but by paying for a second meter, the city now knows. Let's just keep it simple. If I use 1,000 gallons per pay period, and before 800 gallons were used for sinks and toilets and showers, and 200 was going for the lawn, instead of 1 meter saying 1,000 gallons, there's now 2 meters. One says 800, one says 200. The 200 is for the lawn usage. When the city bills me, they're not going to charge me a sewer treatment fee for the 200 gallons that go on the lawn, because that doesn't come back to the city. So the only way to prevent overbilling, I was told by city staff, was to take my wallet, pay out my own money for a meter, which I did. And for years, I wasn't charged a discriminatory fee or a different fee because I had a second meter, I call it a sub-meter. Recently, you guys changed the rates, and now I'm treated like I'm a duplex or something. And when the first quarterly bill came in, my rate tripled. When I say my rate, for the water that doesn't come back to the city, for the sprinkler meter. Several other people that live in Keystone that were here earlier that didn't stay this late told me their water bill has tripled. And the reason we're here is because the city has created this second class as if I'm not a single family residence. The only thing that's changed is by paying for a second meter, the city has more detailed information so they can bill me accurately and not charge me for sewer treatment services for water that doesn't go back to the city. Why should I pay for water that's not being treated because it's going in the ground? But my household has not changed. I'm just like my neighbor. My neighbor may use the exact amount of water that I use. My neighbor waters their lawn or has a sprinkler system. The only difference is they don't have a second meter, which provides more accurate information. And because the city has invented this new classification that applies only to people that bought a second meter, often because we were encouraged to by staff, as that's the way to get your bill down and not to prevent overbilling. The only difference is I have the second meter and I'm being charged triple the rate as my neighbor, even though we use the same amount of water. We both water our lawns. That's not right. It's discriminatory, and arguably it's retaliatory, because this new class that the city has created where our rates tripled only applies to those people that put in the second meter to prevent overbilling. So I've been presented with a Hobbesian choice. I can either not have a second meter, in which case I know for sure I'll be overbilled and I'll be charged for water sewer treatment services that I'm not getting, or I can solve the overbilling problem by paying for a second meter, which I did and a number of other residents have done, and then you've retaliated by creating a special class, even though I'm just like my neighbor, and my rates have been tripled. So I've yet to hear a justification why my neighbor on my left and right are using the same amount of water I am. They're using it to water the lawns just like I am. The only difference between the three houses is I have a more accurate meter, or I have a second meter. And for that, my bill has been tripled. It's not right. It's discriminatory. I think it's retaliatory, and it's not justifiable. I'm a single-family residential user, just like the neighbor on my left, just like the neighbor on my right, and just because I was encouraged by city staff to get a second meter to prevent overbilling, my rates should not be tripled. And I've yet to hear anyone articulate any legally justifiable basis to discriminate against people simply because they bought a second meter to prevent overbilling. If there was not an overbilling problem, I would not have bought a second meter. I mean, really, this was a city problem that I was told I had to solve by writing a check. I mean, nobody wants a second meter except to prevent overbilling, and we shouldn't be punished for it.